Movie for the day is Dil Bechara. Dil Bechara is based on a novel Fault in Our Stars by John Green. The story begins with Kissy Bashu, a young and pretty girl who is fighting against her thyroid cancer. All she wanted is to have a normal life like rest of them and be normal without tubes around her nostrils. She was all alone even in her college. That's when she met Manny, Emmanuel Rajkumar Jr. in her college fest, where Manny performed for Dil Bechara, which is the title track of the movie, beautifully composed by A.R. Rahman. Manny and his friend JP were in the thought of making a movie. Manny himself, a great fan of superstar Rajinikanth, wanna act like always. Manny approached Kissy for the heroine role in their movie, but Kissy declined the offer as Manny seems to be talkative and easygoing in the nature. How Manny managed to be her friend and they started spending time together. Later, Kissy came to know that Manny had a brush with osteosarcoma and lost his leg. Kissy was a huge fan of Abhimanyu Veer and loved his Main Tumhari and was curious to know the aftermath of the song and suggested Manny to hear those songs. Now both were so curious to know what after Main Tumhari. So many mailed to Abhimanyu Veer and came to know that he was in Paris. Now Kissy was so determined to visit Paris and meet Abhimanyu and know the rest of the song. But her health condition was not so satisfying. But Manny, who convinced her family and with the doctor's advice, Kissy's mother accompanied them. Manny, Kissy and her mother flew to Paris to meet Abhimanyu. Yes, finally the day has arrived and they met Abhimanyu. But that was not at all what they expected. He behaved rude and said there was no aftermath of Main Tumhari. Even though the meeting doesn't seem to be satisfying the time they spent, and the things they realized was enough for Manny and Kissy. Manny revealed that his tumors were increasing and the doctor had given him days to live. They returned India and days passed by. Manny's health was too bad and had eggs with abnormal situation to handle. Manny, who called JP and Kissy to the church and asked them pretend his funeral and wished to hear their words. This scene was enough to melt everyone's heart. I mean, to see his funeral before his death and the words from Kissy and JP made us weep with a melting background score. Manny left the earth and his movie he shot with JP was telecasted. This is where the reality gives its touch. As we know, after sad demise of late Sushant Singh Rajput, this movie Dil Bechara was dreamed. Rest in peace, Sushant. Who knows? What if death may not be the end and just a fault in our stars?